Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda, but friends call me Lin. So this is the channel What Lin Makes, a platform where I like to share all my crafty things that I did from the last month. And I have an exciting video for you today. It was a good crafting month last month in October. I went to a knitting event. I've got projects on the needle and almost off the needle already, which I'm very excited to show you today. But first, I must address maybe an elephant in the room, and that is that this video looks a lot different than my last video podcast that I've put out, and that is because I've got a new camera, and maybe the sound is a little different as well. Yeah, I decided to invest in a nice camera since I had a lot of trouble with my last camera. I did not have a viewfinder, for example, so if you see me looking a little above your view, that is why I'm getting a little used to having a viewfinder. And also I had some troubles with recording. The camera was shutting off. It's a nice camera, but it's mainly for photography, so I had a lot of issues, and I'll talk about that a little later as well, since I was actually planning to record another video that would be released in between the podcast episodes, but I had so much trouble. It was constantly out of focus or out of frame, and I had to redo it again, and I just could not anymore. So I decided to look online for nice vloggy style cameras, and I purchased one. So yeah, splurged a little bit. Yeah, so that's why it's different and why this video is in focus. Wow. With that all explained, let's start where we usually start, and that is with what I'm wearing. This is also a hand knit polo, which I'm very proud of. It's a Tuileries polo by Knits pour moi. If I pronounce that correctly, it is French, and I'm not so good at French, but yeah, this is a polo that I started not last summer, but the summer before that, but I finished it this summer. It was a very intricate project, but I love the details so much. It is knit up in Sandnesgarn Line in the color, in Dutch it was called green tea. So yeah, that's with this I can give you a closer look maybe. I love the details on this one, like this for example, the eyelids, the shoulder detail where it continues down to the sleeve, all of that, love it very much. And yeah, but I do feel like I'm not wearing it that much. I have hard time styling it with nice jeans or pants, and I always feel like it's just not it fully, and I think that has to do with the length. I might try go back. I have some yarn left to pick up and add a little bit more of the lace pattern to lengthen the polo. So that's that. I think I've covered it all. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, also some nice wooden buttons. See, I love this camera. It's in focus already. And the nice collar. Yes. Definitely recommend this one. Also, the pants are handmade. Let me show that as well. These are Viki sews. I cannot remember the pattern name, and I've made it out of a nice breezy cotton. That was something that I was missing in my wardrobe, especially for the summer. You are maybe thinking, why are you talking about summer right now, since we are in November and we're talking about the things that you did in October. It's been a really hot November here in the Netherlands, or fall. You can see there's a lot of sun coming in. The sun is shining like all the time. I've rearranged the camera especially for that. And since the fall leaves are falling right now, there is just so much light coming into this house. And we do not have curtains yet. So that is why we are talking about summer and we are wearing summery clothes. I tried on another wool sweater, but that was not possible today. Let's jump into the finished objects. You may have seen it here today already. This is the Astrid pillow cover that I've been working on for a little while, and I must say I am really thinking about making another one since I like this project so much. I've used up so many scraps and I just love the look of it. You have seen it in the last episode as well. That was when I connected all of the squares together and it was just one big square. Since then I've bought a pillow insert and wrapped the square around the pillow and connected the edges like this. And I can show you up nice and close how it looks. It has a little braided effect, which happens as you go. I've explained a little more in the last episode, so you can watch that back for a little more detail on, okay, how does that actually work. I love this technique. I would definitely recommend you making a pillow of your own. If you have a lot of scraps lying around, perfect. So that is my finished object for this month. And before I go into works in progress, I want to switch it up a little bit for this episode and start with acquisitions. Since, it will get pretty clear why, as I show you, since I've already made quite some progress with something that I've purchased this month. As I've said earlier, I went to a knitting event here in the Netherlands. I went to the Breidagen in Nijkerk, which is an event where all yarn stores or hand dyers, some lovely stuff get together in a large hall, and I have had a lovely time meeting new people who also craft. I went there by myself, just an hour drive, and I went in and already was so happy, so excited to see all kinds of yarn. I saw some people from stores that I've already visited, like Rebel with a Twist from where are they based? Dordrecht. Rebel with a Twist, and some yarn store from The Hague, which were really lovely people. Some hand dyers that got me really excited. I've never worked with hand dyed yarn before. I've never seen it in real life, felt it, and there were some companies that really spoke out to me. That was wool based. It was really pretty, full brown, green, ochre colors that really spoke to me. And also the Mindful Creators, where I've purchased a skein of yarn. Should hold it like this. Which is a lovely hand-dyed fingering weight yarn, merino based, in a dark green color. So in this booth there were all kinds of lovely, whimsical, fantasy type colors, like of course this green, purple, ochre colors. Really lovely to see them all together. And I got chatting to the owner of the company, Fem from the Mindful Creators, and she's the person who dyes all this yarn, person behind this brand, and it was just really inspiring to meet her. It's really awesome to hear someone build her own company in this yarn knitting community, and yeah, it was really nice chatting about all types of topics, but also about the idea behind this color collection. Color collection is called Meet Me in Velaris. It is based on a book series with books Sarah J. Maas, I think. Books like A Court of Thorn and Roses, if I remember correctly. If you are a fan and I'm saying it all wrong, you're cringing right now, I'm sorry. But I've never read the books myself, so I don't know. I think they are up my alley and I might read them someday. But first off, I start with a yarn inspired by it. This yarn is called Stay with the High Lord. It's a flowy fingering weight base, 100% merino. I've got a 100 gram skein with 400 meters. And I'm thinking of making a nice little scarf with it, with little cute points at the end. That's something I am wanting for quite some time. A lovely cute dark green scarf is something I've envisioned for some time, so this was perfect to find. And yeah, so you might be thinking, Sophie's scarf, obviously, but I'm not so sure yet. I think at first I want to swatch it, of course, and try out to different textures and different like eyelets, lace detail, but also maybe moss stitch, all kinds of things I want to try out before to see what looks best. And yeah, and with that I might make up my own design. I don't know yet. You'll see in the next video. At first I was a little bit insecure, in doubt about if I bought the right yarn weight for this idea. I've bought the fingering weight, and later on, while I sat down with a coffee, I was thinking, was that the right decision? Shouldn't I have gotten a DK weight yarn? As I was sipping this coffee, a woman asked me if she could sit with me. She was also visiting the Breidagen by herself, and we got off to a nice conversation about yarn, about projects, about knitting mistakes. It was really nice to meet her. She seems pretty experienced as a knitter, and yeah, it was really nice to meet her like that. And I told her what I bought and that I was a little bit in doubt on if I bought the right yarn weight. She had worked with hand-dyed yarn before, and she could say, she could tell me that it's also nice to hold it together, make it a DK weight like that. I was a little unsure if that would lose a little bit of the variegation and the color changes, if that would mess it up or not. But she said, nah, that's also really pretty, so give that definitely a try. So I will do that after this video. I of course wanted to show it to you in pretty skein form, so I haven't swatched it yet, but afterwards I will try out all the different things for this yarn and see what I come up with. So next up, next thing I've purchased is a little cute stitch marker. See, I come up to show it to you. This is a handmade stitch marker by the Spincodin. And I've talked to her mother a little bit since she was out chatting to other people. And she explained to me that her daughter is making these by hand. She goes on nice walks around like the forest or and when she is on these walks she might pick up some flowers or leaves and she makes them into these little lovely charms like this. Yeah, so I just picked up this one. I just couldn't leave it there. It was really lovely to know that it was handmade. It looks like a little heart, but unfortunately I cannot put it on my current project since it's quite small and I'm working on bigger needles at the moment, so I haven't used it yet, which is unfortunate, but it's still pretty and it will come to use at some point. So another yarn purchase at the Breidagen was a mohair to go with my Peer Gynt that I've shown in my previous episode. I've bought this yarn in a sweater quantity, in a large quantity from a store that was closing, and I was in doubt what to make with it. I was thinking a cardigan, as I explained earlier. I was switching between the Purl cardigan or the Cardigan NO9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I've swatched right before I went to the Breidagen this yarn on the recommended needles for the Purl cardigan to see if it would work out. I could not get gauge on this, and my calculations would say that the yarn quantity was also a bit tricky. So I felt like, okay, this is not gonna work. I swatched it on a 5mm, and it was way too big. I thought like, okay, I really need to go down to a 3mm needle and knit Peer Gynt with 3mm needles, and that would just get too dense. And yeah, I've got 13 skeins of it, and I thought like, yeah, that would be enough. But my calculations would say that it wouldn't be enough. So I reached out to AMW Knits, also here on YouTube, and I know she is making this Purl cardigan out of the Peer Gynt. So I asked her if she was having enough yarn, and if she could tell me a little bit more if it would be enough for the yarn. This was before I swatched and found out that I don't want to knit this on 3mm needles. I'm not in for that. I want a fast project at the moment as well. So all of that combined, she replied really sweet that she was having yardage issues. She wasn't out if she had enough, but she had like 1 skein less. So she said, you should be fine. But she was running out of yarn, and I'm really excited to see her next video. And I really hope that she figures it out, and I want to see the Purl cardigan. I think it's a really lovely pattern, so I still want to make it at some point. But for now, it didn't make sense to work that up. So at the switching between English and Dutch is crazy. So at the Breidagen, I went looking. It was my mission to find a matching mohair for this yarn, and there weren't a lot of mohair sellers. So last hour before it closes, I was running around finding a nice mohair, and I've talked to the people from the store in The Hague. Never met them before, and they were selling Gepard Garn Tweedy mohair. So as you can see, I think it's a good match, and it has quite long mohair fluffs, but also a bit of variegation. It has a bit of yellowy bits in it, and some grey, and yeah, I was really curious to see how that would turn up for my Cardigan No. 9. So I swatched for that one. Oh, also, let's rewind a little bit. So I was looking at this yarn and the match, and I was like in doubt and like, would it work? Would this work? And I've never worked with like tweedy mohair, so I was in doubt, like how would that look all finished up? And she was like telling me, this is really pretty, this is a really good combination, you are definitely going to enjoy this. So I was kind of feeling more confident, and also really sweet. She said, but yeah, it's really hard to see the actual color inside, so let's go outside of this building and see it in natural light. So we went running to the front door, and the guy who sells the tickets, she was saying, we are going outside for a second, and we just stood outside the front door looking at this mohair match and decided, yes, this is good, this is really nice. So that's what we did. So I went and purchased the gapard yarn tweedy tweedy look. I don't think it's really tweedy, it's more like a variegation within a mohair. And as I got home, I got really curious to see how it would swatch up and how it would look. So here's my swatch that I made, where you can hopefully see on camera that there are a few bits of color changes in it. Sometimes has some more ochre looking fuzz, and some places more gray and then more brown, which gives it, in my opinion, a little bit of a hand-dyed look, which I really like. So this swatch I've made on 5mm needles for my cardigan number 9 by my favorite things knitwear, and I should have ended up with a 16 stitch gauge. I did not, it was a little, I had to go up a half a needle size, so I'm working my cardigan number 9 on 5.5mm needles, and I've made so much progress, you guys. I'm almost finished in 1 month, it's crazy. So the cardigan number 9 by my favorite things knitwear, I have right here, as you can see, we have 2 sleeves. We've got the button band already, and the body of course all finished up. And right now I'm working on the collar, and then it's just the buttons and it's finished. So this went so quickly. I love working on 16 stitch gauge. It's really nice and it's so soft. It's really, really nice. It's a really nice mohair, this one. It's really soft. Good combination, I think. The pear gynt and the mohair. That will make this cardigan last me a lifetime, I think. I love the color. Browns and greens and oranges are all my thing. So yeah, I think this is gonna be my best, most worn item. I hope it will turn up really lovely. So let me talk you a little bit through the construction of it. It is a saddle shoulder cardigan, which means you start off with 2 panels, rectangles for the shoulder, leave them on hold for the other side as well, and then you use them in the back. You pick up on the side of one of those rectangles, you cast on stitches for the neck line at the back, and then you pick up the rest of the stitches. Maybe it was the other way around, but you get the idea. Then you knit flat, short row shaping, and then that's all knitted flat till a certain length, and some increases for the armholes here. Once that is all done, you leave them on hold, go to the front shoulder bit, pick up stitches again, and work flat, increases for the neckline, and at a certain point increases for the armhole shaping. Leave that on rest at a certain point, do the same to the other shoulder, and at that point you can connect them in the round. It is still knitted back and forth flat, since it is a cardigan, of course. Till you meet the right length, you switch up your needles for a 1x1 rib and cast off with Italian bind off, which is already done. Then you pick up the stitches you've left on hot for the sleeve, pick up can I show you like this? Pick up stitches for the armhole, underarm, all the way around, and it has decreases to taper the sleeves, and 1x1 ribbing and Italian bind off for the sleeves. Did that another time for the other sleeve. Then the button bands. Oh my god, I did so much this month. The button bands are also picked up and knitted in 1x1 ribbing and the Italian bind off. On the other side we have buttonholes in place, of course. It works up really nicely so far. The pattern is so clear. Like, my favorite thing is Knitwear, is one of my favorite designers in the way. Her writing style of her knitting patterns is just the way I would write patterns, the way I think in knitting, where I think her instructions are not too overly complicated, not too much information, just the details that you need to know. She explains, she's straightforward, and her design elements are really thought out, and I feel like she really tried out what looks best for your design, for this design, and yeah, I really like it for that. So right now I just picked up for the neckline, and in her pattern she has a little area where there is double knitting, and I wanted to try a different technique. I do not know what it's called, but I have learned it from the Polo right here. I think that is the look that my favorite thing Knitwear wants to create, but it's a little bit complicated to do. Basically, you pick up the stitches, you knit flat stockinette for a certain amount, not so many rows, and then you go on a right side row, go to the back of your work and pick up the purl bum from the first row of stockinette to cinch that little section of flat knitting together and make it a little bulky ridge. Is that the right word? I can show it here. So this is quite a sturdy but clean looking detail that I wanted to try out for this cardigan. If it's not working out, I will rip back and do exactly what she says, but the idea is that it would look a little bit like this. So I thought it would look a little bit more cleaner, intentional than the 1x1 ribbing, so it's a little bit more obvious and stands out. So that's what I'm trying, and then it is 1x1 ribbing, binding off buttons, and done. It's crazy. 1 month of knitting. I have almost an entire cardigan. I was just so hooked into this project since every time I was working on it, I felt like this is my cardigan. This is what I will wear all the time. When it's cold, this one. It feels like a nice cozy blanket. It's really soft. The mohair is not itchy at all, and it goes easily with a lot of clothes, I think. So that's why I made so much progress. And yeah, what else can I say? Can I try it on? Should I try it on? Okay then. This is what we got for my cardigan so far. Are you guys people that try on a lot while you're working on it, or don't you do that? I love doing that. I hope it's a little clear. I think the sleeves will grow a little bit, of course, and will be perfect. Yes, my cardigan. Cardigan number 9. Cannot wait to be finished, to be wearing it. Oh yeah, that's also something that I could tell about this project. I want to purchase some, are they called taco buttons? Those longer rectangle looking buttons that are also in the example pictures in a really, really dark brown color. Not black, but almost black. And I think that would be perfect. So yeah, this is my cardigan number 9, people. Never seen before on the podcast and almost finished. Sick. And then we've got another new cast on, people. With my Issachar Jensen yarn and the matching mohair that I've shown before. I hadn't cast it on in the last episode, but since then I did, and also pretty far. It's a little bit wrinkly, should have pulled it out of the bag a little sooner. But this is the Tendreil sweater by the Knit Purl. It is, in her sample photos also, really nice blue sweater, like this royal blue. And I hit gauge on the 5mm needles, I think. Yes, 5mm needles. And what I like about this sweater is the little lightning bolt detail on the front. It just gives it a little bit extra new, stands out like that. And I really like the shaping of it in her sample photos. I've always wanted to knit something patterned by the Knit Purl girl since her Instagram photos at the time, like in 2019, 2020, are the reason that I got back into knitting. Just seeing her photos, like the circular yokes, and made me feel excited again to work my own sweaters. I was really into sewing at that point, but I really felt like, okay, something nice and cozy for on the couch is really lovely. So her Instagram account got me into knitting, and yeah, I like working on it so far, and I'm excited to be wearing it. I have some doubts though about the sleeve length, and that's why it's at this point. And also I did the ribbing as she describes into the pattern, but in her blue example photo I think it's a smaller ribbing, and I think I prefer that. So I might go back and yeah, show it in ribbing at the bottom. And right now I should be at the right sleeve length, but I feel like I am not. And I'm unsure, should I trust the process again? Or should I mid-project block? I don't know. That's why I put it down for now at the first sleeve. Maybe I can try this one on as well, so I can show you. It's a drop shoulder, so that is growing with time. But right now it hits, see? It hits right here. I think it's quite high. And I should get into the ribbing right now. And I want it to hit like right here. I like my sleeves longer. So I don't know what to do. I think, see, I'm pulling it way down. It's not gonna grow that much, you know? So I think I will, and I also think it's pretty tight at this point. So should I rib back and distribute the decreases, or should I block it first? I think I will increase the decrease rate, increase I will space out the increases, the decreases a little bit more. I think I'll like that better since this is too tight at this point. I don't like it. And also, let's go back to the yarn that I'm using. Let's take it off before I get really sweaty in this. So I'm working with the Issachar Jensen yarn in the blue color. That's this one. And I am pairing it with this mohair. And so far it feels a little scratchy, to be honest. It feels really scratchy. So I know the Issachar Jensen softens up really nicely by blocking. But I'm not so sure about the Thin Silk mohair. I feel like it's more itchy than the other one. Yeah, when I hold it to my cheek it's really itchy. But when I do that with this, it's not. A little bit though. Anyway, I like the process of it so far. It's a drop shoulder design. So I started off with the back panel, worked my way down, picked up the shoulders, included the little details of course, then I joined it around, knit, till I reach the length. And this is 1x1 ribbing. I turned it inside out, so my neither side is on the outside. Then picked up stitches for the sleeves. I must say I really enjoy the shoulder detail that looks like this, and this little corner that's inside. And what I found a little bit I've never seen before is that there were decreases right before the arm in some sizes. In my size there were, in other sizes there was nothing, no increases or decreases, and in other sizes there were increases. So that means every sweater in every size looks a little bit different here. So I was a little bit unsure about that. So it's been my main focus on the cardigan, and I had to let my doubts simmer a little bit and figure out what to do. But yeah, I really like the color and the details and the sweater overall. So really excited about that. The knitting experience and the pattern is really different than what I all said about my favorite things in knitwear. The Knit Purl girls really stands out in her writing style, where she gives you a lot of information, a lot of different options, and yeah, it's really all written out. So there's a lot to read through. And that's not my style personally. I get a bit overwhelmed and I get lost in, okay, what are the important details that I need to know, and what are options. She explains it all really nicely, but you have to read through it all, and I'm not such a reader. So I prefer just straight to the point, knit this, knit that, row one, row, all the, yeah. It's not that the information is wrong, it's just overwhelming, in my opinion. So that's where that's what I've noticed so far. And I know a lot of people prefer her style from the Knit Purl girl, her writing style, because it has so much information and it feels really accessible to start knitting when you're new. So yeah, that's that. All there is to say about this sweater so far, and it will come back in the next episode. Last time I have talked to you about that I thought that this time I would also have finished another project, but I did not. And it's in this bag. No, it's not. It is in this bag. Yes. And of course we are talking about my Weasley sweaters for my brothers. I said I only have to do the K on the front with some duplicate stitching, and that did not get finished. That was actually the video I was talking about earlier. I wanted to make a video for you guys to show you how I did the embroidery, how I made the design, and talk you through all of that. So since making the first Weasley sweater, I've learned a lot, and I wanted to show you what I've learned so far, how I tackled the project, how I designed it, how I started it. I felt like there was something missing from the YouTube, and I wanted to make that. But I ran into so many issues with my camera that I just gave up. Maybe I'll insert a few bits and pieces, but yeah, it really stopped me from finishing this project, since yeah, I felt like I can't finish it all. I can't go sit on the couch and finish it, because I want to take you along and I want to show you. So that's what stopped me from finishing this sweater. Since buying a new camera, I have abandoned the idea of making a video, so it's not going to be on this channel. And maybe in the future, if I have a few similar project, I would like to show you, but maybe not. I don't know. There are already really good videos out there, but yes, it's a shame I cannot just switch it up with this camera. I feel like it has to be abandoned, and the decision of abandoning that video just gives me a lot of peace of quiet and makes me feel like I can finish this sweater at some point, which I really want to do, since I want to gift it to my brother soon. So yeah, this is the, I've talked about it so many times already. The Hanstholm sweater by Petite knit in drops soft tweed in the color charcoal. And the leather is also done in the same yarn, but in a beigey color. So next time, hopefully finished. So far I just got this far. I had looked up a design. I found a leather style, how do you call it? Leather type that I like. Used it for my other brother's sweater as well, and just freehanded it on here with some tailor's choke. After that I outlined it with some cotton thread to baste it down, so I do not lose the design, since the tailor's choke can disappear really easily on knit fabric. So that is why I outlined it with some thread. And I'm right now just filling in the K. It's almost done, I know guys, but it may or may not reappear on this channel. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that just yet. So last up, since we have already covered the acquisitions, this is the last project of a video, and that is my own sweater design that my boyfriend asked for. I showed it in the first video and I don't touch it that often, but last month I did, and it is a intarsia sweater, very colorful. He made his own design. He said, "Can you make this?" And I said yes. And I made the design in stitch fiddle, and with that I got knitting on a front panel. Since it is intarsia, where you switch colors by, on the same row, I can not hold it and talk to you about at the same time. At some rows you drop the orange color, add in the white color, knit, and on your way back you switch the white color for the orange color and continue knitting. So that is intarsia, and you cannot really easily work that in a round. So that's why I'm working this one in panels. So front panel, I am at the when I stand up, it's like this. I think I am 2/3 in, and in a little while I will be doing the armholes. I think then the neck hole. I made a design in Stitch Fiddle that I'm following, and after that the back panel. But I've watched, found a new, not new to me, YouTuber here online, also from the Netherlands. Jimmy does knitting, and he knits really, he was knitting on a really colorful intarsia project, also flat, made his own design, raglan style, and it's just really cool. It was inspired by some Prada sweaters, and I think he did a really good job on making that one. And he got me inspired to pick this project up again. So what I did last month is I finished all the charts in Stitch Fiddle, and right now I can just knit on it. But I'm the kind of knitter that just goes with the flow that I want. If I want to knit on my cardigan, I'm gonna knit on my cardigan. I'm not gonna force myself to switch around evenly or be a monogamous knitter. It's my free time, and I do pick up the project that I want to knit on at that point. So yeah, it is not going super fast, but I've picked it up again and I wanted to show you. So that are all my projects for this month, all the things that I've worked on. I feel like I've did a lot, and I talked a lot to you, and I think this video is pretty long. I think maybe I should split up my videos in like, I now record every month. So every first day of the month that I have to myself, I sit down and record for you. But maybe I should do that twice a month. I don't know. Let's see what I do with that. But for now, it was really lovely sitting down with you. I hope you got a lovely knitting time for yourself, and let me know what you are working on your project. Are there any of my projects that are on your to-do list? And let me know. Just leave a comment, subscribe if you like this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!